Welcome once again, all my dear Rajeshwar students of class 8 ABC. Hope you are all healthy, fit, and fine. Stay at home, stay safe. Okay, so this is our teaching of English, and we are doing section 1 of unit 2. The name of the unit, Nurturing Nature, and section 1, there is a story whose title is A Day in the Country. In this, we have read first 3 pages of the lesson yesterday. They were page number 38, 39, and 40. And in these pages, we have read about 2 children and a cobbler whose name was Trenty, who teaches them valuable lessons about nature. Now we come to page number 41, 42, 43, and 44 of the unit of her story. But at last, take out page number 41, okay? Open your course books, guys. But at last, they go into the count's copse. The washed trees, the steered by the gust of wind, drop a perfect waterfall upon them. Trenty stumbles over stumps and begins to slacken his pace. Whereabouts is Danilka? He asks. Lead me to join him. Lead me to him. Fyokla leads him into a thicket, and after going a quarter of a mile, points to Danilka, her brother, a little fellow of 8, with hair as red as an orchid and a pale, sickly face, stands leaning against a tree with his head on one side, looking sideways at the sky. In one hand, he holds his shabby old cap, the other is hidden in an old lime tree. The boy is gazing at the stormy sky and apparently not thinking of his trouble. Hearing footsteps and seeing the cobbler, he gives a sickly smile and says, "A terrible lot of thunder, Trenty. I've never heard so much thunder in all my life." "And where is your hand?" "In the hole. Pull it out, please, Trenty." The wood had broken at the edge of the hole and jammed Danilka's hand. He couldn't push it further in, but could not pull it out. Trenty snaps of the broken piece, and the boy's hand, red and crushed, is released. "It's terrible how it's thundering," the boy says again, rubbing his hand. "What makes it thunder, Trenty?" "One cloud runs against the other," answers the cobbler. The party comes out of the copse and walks along the edge of it towards the darkened road. The thunder gradually abates and its rumbling is heard far away beyond the village. "The ducks flew by here the other day, Trenty," says Dhanilka, still rubbing his hand. "They must be nesting in the Gnilia Jamistyacha's marshes." Actually, this is a Russian story, so the names of the people and places are from Russia. Originally, it was written in Russian language. "Fyokla, would you like me to show me your nightingale's nest?" Page number 42. "Don't touch it. You might disturb them," says Trenty. "The nightingale is a singing bird without sin. He has a voice given him in his throat to praise God and gladden the heart of man. It is a sin to disturb him." A bright patch of blue appears in the sky. "Look," says Trenty, An ant heap burst open by the rain. They have been flooded. They bent down over the ant heap. The downpour has damaged it. The insects are scurrying to and fro in the mud, agitated and busily trying to carry away their drowned companions. That won't happen to you, says Tanti, grinning. As soon as the sun warms you, you'll come to your senses again. It's a lesson to you. You won't settle on low ground another time. They go on, and here are some bees, cries Dhanilka, pointing to the branch of a young oak tree. The drenched and chilled bees are huddled together on a branch. There are so many of them that neither bark nor the leaf can be seen. Many of them are settled on one another. That's a swarm of bees, Twenty informs them. They were flying looking for a home, and when the rain came down upon them, they settled. If a swarm is flying, you need only sprinkle water on them to make them settle. Now, if, say, you wanted to take the swarm, you would bend the branch with them into a sack and shake it. They all fall in. Little Fuokla suddenly frowns and rubs her neck vigorously. Her brother looks at her neck and sees a big swelling on it. Hey, hey, laughs the cobbler. Do you know where you got that from? Fuokla, old girl. There are Spanish flies on some trees in the wood. The rain has tickled of them, and a drop has fallen on your neck. That's what made the swelling. The sun appears from behind the clouds and floods the wood, the fields, and the three friends with its warm light. The dark, mincing cloud has gone far away and taken the storm with it. The air is warm and fragrant. There is a scent of bird cherry, meadow sweet, and lilies of the valley. That herb is given when your nose bleeds, says Trenty, pointing into a woodly looking flower. It does good. They hear a whistle and a rumble, but not such a rumble as the storm clouds carried away. A good strain races by before the eyes of Trenty, Dhanilka, and Fokla. The engine painting and puffing out black smoke drags more than 20 vans after it. Its power is tremendous. The children are interested to know how an engine, not alive and without the help of horses, can move and drag such weights, and Trenty undertakes to explain it to them. It's all the steam doing, children. The steam does the work, you see. It shows under that thing near the wheel and it works. They cross the railway line and going down from the embankment walk towards the river. They walk not with any object, but just at random and talk all the way. Dhanilka asks questions. Trenty answers them. Trenty answers all his questions, and there is no secret in nature which baffles him. He knows everything. Thus, for example, he knows the names of all the wild flowers, animals, and stones. He knows what herbs cure. He knows what herb cure diseases. He has no difficulty in telling the age of a horse or a cow. Looking at the sunset, at the moon or the birds, he can tell what sort of weather it will be the next day. And indeed, it is not only Trenty who is so wise. Shilanti stilts the innkeeper, the market gardener, the shepherd, and all the villagers, generally speaking, know as much as he does. These people have learned not from books, but in the fields, in the wood, on the river bank. The teachers have been the birds themselves. When they sang to them, the sun, when it left a glow of crimson behind it at setting, the very trees and the wild herbs. Danilka looks at Trenti and greedily drinks in every word. In spring, before one is weary of warmth and the monotonous greens of the field, when everything is fresh and full of fragrance, who would not want to hear about the golden May beetles, about the cranes, about the gurgling streams and the corn blooming? The two of them, the cobbler and the boy, walk about the fields, talk unceasingly, and are not weary. They could wander about the world endlessly. They walk, and in their talk of the beauty of the earth, do not notice the frail little girl tripping after them. She is breathless and moves with a lagging step. Towards midday, all three sit down on the river bank. Daniel Ka takes out of his bag a piece of bread, soaked and reduced to a mash, and they begin to eat. Trenty says a prayer when he has eaten the bread, then stretches himself on the sandy bank and falls asleep. While he is asleep, the boy gazes at the water, pondering. He has many different things to think of. He has just seen the storm, the bees, the ants, the train. Now, before his eyes, fishes are whisking about. So, this was page number 43. We come to the last page number 44 of the lesson, and we start the reading of that too. Some are 2 inches long and more, the others are no bigger than one snail. A viper, with its head held high, is swimming from one bank to another. Only towards the evening, our wanderers return to the village. The children go for the night to a deserted barn where the corn of commune used to be kept, while Trenty, leaving them, goes to the tavern. The children lie huddled together on the straw, dozing. The boy does not sleep. He gazes into darkness, and it seems to him that he is seeing all that he has seen in the day. What all things he has seen? The stormy clouds, the bright sunshine, the birds, the fish, lanky Trenty. The number of his impressions, together with exhaustion and hunger, are too much for him. He is as hot as though he were on fire, and tosses from side to side. He longs to tell someone that is haunting him now in the darkness and agitating his soul, but there is no one to tell. Fiocla is too little and could not understand. I'll tell Trenty tomorrow, thinks the boy. The children fall asleep, thinking of the cobbler, and in the night, Trenty comes to them, puts bread under their heads, and no one sees his love. It is seen only by the moon, which floats in the sky and peeps carelessly, caressingly through the holes into the wall of a deserted barn. Story written by Anton Chekhov. Okay, actually, I'll tell you a little about Anton Pavlovich Chekhov. He was a Russian physician who is highly acclaimed as a playwright and a short story writer. He is also considered as one of the greatest writers of short fiction in the history. He is also known as the master of short stories. In the year 1888, Chekhov was awarded the Pushkin Prize, And the very next year, he was elected as a member of the Society of the Lovers of Russian Literature. So, this was a little about the writer, the story writer. So, this ends with a reading of the lesson. Thank you very much.